Hello guys, I hope you're all doing amazing. My name is Courtney Leopard, also known as She Traveled the World, and welcome to this video. So today I thought we'd start right from the beginning and talk about how to plan your first ever solo trip. So I have been solo traveling for about 3 years now. My first ever solo trip was to Luxembourg in 2017. I'll put some photos up here. And I was meant to actually go with a friend and she ended up cancelling last minute, and I was like, well, I've already paid for the flights, like I didn't really want to change it, so I was like, I'll just go by myself. So I ended up spending 3 nights in Luxembourg. It's really beautiful. If you haven't been, I highly recommend it. And that kind of sparked my love for solo travel. I had not planned anything for that trip. I was so unprepared to go by myself and I had no idea what to expect, and I loved it and I hated it and it was weird and it was just everything. I just didn't know what I was doing. So I thought I would do this video for you guys in the hopes that you guys can be a bit more prepared than I was for my first solo trip. I love solo traveling. It's really changed my life and we're just gonna get right on into it. Okay, so I thought I'd talk about 3 reasons why I love solo travel. Firstly, I love the freedom. I'm the type of person, I love my independence. I love being able to make my own decisions, and as much as I really enjoy traveling with other people, I like being able to do, okay, I'm gonna eat here tonight, or I'm gonna go see this right now. Like, I love just being able to choose what I want to do without feeling like I need to compromise on something. The second reason I love solo travel is I love meeting people, and I get so many messages from you guys saying, I don't know if I'm gonna meet people, I'm scared I'm gonna be lonely. And honestly, I've met more people traveling solo than I have traveling with friends, and it's because people are so much more open to chatting if they don't already have the kind of security blanket of people they already know that they're traveling with. Like, I'm more likely to go up to a person who's standing by themselves than a person standing with like 4 of their friends, because they've already got their little clique going, and obviously they're going to be like sociable. Well, hopefully they're going to be sociable, but if someone's already by themselves, you're more likely to be able to like break the ice and to get that interaction happening rather than trying to like integrate yourself into someone else's friendship group, if that makes sense. The third reason I love solo travel is waiting around for people sucks. I remember when I first got out of school, I never wanted to travel alone because I was scared I was going to be lonely, and I kept messaging friends being like, hey, when are you going to be free to travel? Like, and they'll be like, oh, sorry, I got uni, I've got work, I've got all this kind of stuff. I think it's important to remember everyone's going through life at their own pace, and while you may rank travel as like the highest, like this is what I want to do, this is what I love, your best friend might not rank it that highly. And so while you're ready to go, you've got the funds, you've got everything ready, she might be ready in like 2 years time. And I feel like it's unfair to put yourself through, oh, okay, we'll wait 2 years then. No, if you're ready to go, go. Don't feel like you need to wait for someone else to be ready. Just do it. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the nitty-gritty of how to plan the trip. First things first is start small. And I know this sucks, but I definitely recommend it. Say you wanna go on a big year-long trip around Europe. Amazing, please do it. But it is very daunting if you have no idea what you're doing. I would recommend spending a few days, a weekend, a week away from your home. It doesn't have to be overseas, it could be like the next town over or something like that. And just see if you like traveling by yourself, because it does get lonely. And so if you're like from Australia and you're 18 and you've never traveled that much before, and then you just jump into this huge solo trip where you're not going to see your family for like a year and stuff, and you get there and you're like, oh my god, this is not what I expected. You need to just prepare yourself slightly. So that's when I went to Luxembourg. I only spent 3 days there. I kind of got used to the feeling of like not having people around, and I didn't love that trip because I was so like, wow, I am by myself. So just, you know, dip the toe in the water. That's all I'm saying. So you've had your little weekend away. What's next? Now you have to plan where you want to go. So say you have 10 days off work and you're like, okay, I want to go to Portugal, Spain, Germany, France, Italy, Switzerland, Czech Republic. You're not gonna You're not going to be able to do all of those in the span of 10 days. So pick your favorites within reason. So let's say you want to do Poland, Germany, and the Czech Republic. So you have 3 countries in 10 days. That gives you about 3 days in each country. That is far better than trying to rush around and do all of these different things, because you're going to run out of money if you're traveling that quickly, because the transport, the accommodation, all of that. Also, you're going to run out of time. You're going to get 2 hours to go check out, you know, Berlin or something like that. You're not going to have any time to really enjoy the country. Europe is always going to be there. So it doesn't matter if you don't get it all done in that one single trip. Just pick your favorites and then focus on those and really focus on enjoying those countries. Perfect. Step 3. So you have spent a weekend away, you've decided what countries you want to go to, you're feeling excited, you're feeling ready. Now you need to start planning and pre-planning. Do not go to a country that you've never been to by yourself and have nothing planned. At the very least, have your accommodation and your transport booked. Do not get there and you're like, I've got nowhere to stay tonight. Also, I would highly recommend having screenshots of your accommodation and its address, and screenshots if you're taking buses or flights or something like that, having them ready just in case. Even having a printout of your itinerary and your bookings can be so helpful. I know it's a bit nerdy, but just having those ready just in case your phone dies or something happens to your phone and you have no way to access any of your information, at least you'll have those with you and you can show someone and they can help you find where you need to be. As well as having printouts of your itinerary or screenshots of your itinerary, I would highly recommend sending what you're doing or where you're staying to a parent just in case. You never know what's going to happen. I'm sure that will put their mind at ease as well, even if it's like an older sister or an older brother, just someone who knows where you are when, just in case that you need some help at any point. Okay, so say you're doing your Germany, Poland, Czech Republic trip, and you're starting your trip in Berlin. I would highly recommend pre-planning those first couple of days that you're there, even if it's as basic as, okay, the first day I'm there, I'm gonna go see the Berlin Wall, or second day I'm there, I'm going to go on this walking tour, or something like that, just to keep yourself busy, because you don't want to get to a country and you're feeling very overwhelmed, you're feeling a bit homesick if you've come from somewhere quite far away, and you are just a bit like, oh, I don't know what to do now. Just have an idea of where you want to go, what you want to see. That way you're going to be kind of, you know, pottering along, and then by the time you move on to Poland, you'll have a bit more of an idea about what you like to see and what you like to do, how much activities you like to do during the day, stuff like that, all that kind of stuff. Just have like a rough idea, even if you just write a couple of places down in your phone or screenshot some cool like art that you want to go see, just something just to have in the back of your mind when you get there. Okay, next thing to do when you're pre-planning is have offline maps, offline Google Translate, and some kind of currency exchange that you can use offline as well. You don't want to get to like Hungary where they use Hungarian forints and something costs 3,000 forints and you're thinking, I don't know what that means, and you're handing over like 20 quid to like buy a bottle of water. So just having those 3 apps ready so you're not fumbling around with your bags trying to find Wi-Fi for like Google Maps or something like that is just a massive hassle. So those 3 apps, definitely recommend having them. It's so much easier on you if you already have them downloaded. I would also recommend, if you're going to like Berlin, let's say, to download an offline map of Berlin so you can find your location easily. I would pin my hostel, I would pin like a supermarket near the hostel, a bus stop if I am getting a bus to like Krakow or something. Just having those things already prepared so you're not trying to like fumble around on the day trying to find where you need to go. It's just so much easier on you. Next thing we need to talk about is passports and visas. I had a scenario where I was at Heathrow Airport and my passport had 6 months and 1 day left until it expired. and the man had to go check with his boss to see if I was allowed on the flight, because Nepal's passport requirements says that the passport needs to be over 6 months until it expires, and I had 1 day. If I was 1 day after that flight, I would not have been allowed into the country, and it's because I didn't research or check. So do not be like me. Check that there's no requirements for your visas or passports. Okay, now we're on to step number 4 for planning your solo trip, which is transport. If you're pre-booking any buses, trains, flights, any mode of transport, I would highly recommend not booking one that gets there very late at night. You do not want to rock up to a new city. You've never been here before, you don't speak the language, and it's like 11 o'clock at night and you're like, oh my god. It is very overwhelming. I've done it a few times and I'll be like, I'm kind of scared. So I would highly recommend trying to book something that gets there during the day or early in the morning. And I know it sucks and it might be a bit more expensive, but honestly, peace of mind is so much better than a few extra pounds. So definitely, if you can, try and book something that gets there during the day. Next thing, which is quite important, make sure you give yourself enough time when you're getting 2 different modes of transport. So say you're getting a flight and then a bus during the same day, make sure that you give yourself enough time to like get on the bus. I would always recommend probably like 2 hours is enough. But it just depends how far away the bus station is from each other and all that kind of stuff, because nothing worse than having to travel halfway across the city to a different bus station and you've given yourself 20 minutes to get there. Last little tip on transport, if you're looking at flights, I would highly recommend Skyscanner. I talk about Skyscanner so much. I love it. I swear by Skyscanner. You can also check out Kayak and Momondo. It's the same kind of thing. So they're all flight search engines. So basically it will look through the internet for you at all the different airline websites, and it will put all the different prices into one page so you don't have to look at individual airlines. I swear by Skyscanner. I have been using it for so long. So definitely recommend looking at that if you're looking at flights. Now we are on step number 5, which is accommodation. So I always stay in hostels. I love them. I've been staying in them since I started traveling, and I always use Hostel World to find my hostels. I love it. It basically does the same thing as Skyscanner. So you type in a place, say like Krakow, and then it will just list all the different hostels that are available for the dates that you're looking for. It will give you cleanliness, reviews, it will tell you if it's like a party hostel, a little bit about it, how close it is to the city, which are all things that you really need to look for. It will also tell you all the amenities that the hostel has, so if it has a kitchen, if it has Wi-Fi, 24-hour reception, all that kind of stuff. You can either book directly on Hostel World and you basically will just need to pay a little deposit, or you can just find the hostel that you want and then book directly from their website. Just depends what you want to do. I think if you book directly on a hostel website, it's a bit cheaper. So if you wanted to do that, definitely do that, but I'm lazy, so I always just book on Hostel World. Again, I'll just list a few things that you need to watch out for when you're booking a hostel. Location. Make sure that it is central enough to the center of the city or the town or wherever you're staying. You do not want to stay in a hostel that is like 20 miles from the town and you're thinking, oh my god, how am I going to get into the town every day? It might be the cheapest, but it's definitely not worth it. It's much better to pay a little bit extra to be in the heart of it all. Second thing is kitchen. Again, it might be cheaper to stay in a hostel without a kitchen, but it's going to be more expensive for you to eat out every night rather than just being able to cook for yourself. Third thing, see what kind of hostel it is. Some hostels are dedicated party hostels, so if you are a party girl, if you like going out, if you like having a good time, look up party hostels. I love party hostels. I've stayed in quite a few, and I will sometimes Google best party hostels in that city and then I'll look up if they're available. You have to be ready for a good time. You have to be ready to not really sleep a lot. It's a lot of fun, but again, there's different hostels that are much more quieter if you do just want a place to go sleep. It's really up to you, but definitely if you're not a party person and you book a party hostel, you are going to get a shock. So make sure you know what you're in for, and make sure you kind of have a little research about what the hostel's all about and all that kind of stuff. Next thing is amenities. Like I said, if it has 24-hour reception, you don't want to be leaving the hostel or trying to check into the hostel at 3 in the morning and there's no one there. If there's Wi-Fi, if there's washing, if there's a kitchen, like I said, all that kind of stuff. So definitely check out those things. Hostel World lists it all for you, so you don't have to do any excess Googling and all that kind of stuff. But yeah. Okay, number 6, have different forms of payment. Do not just bring one card with you, because if that card gets lost, if you break it, if the machine swallows it, if somewhere doesn't accept card, what are you going to do? You're going to have no access to money. So I would recommend bringing 1 or 2 different debit or credit cards. I always use Apple Pay. I will always try and use Apple Pay if I can. I have a Revolut card, which means I don't get charged any transaction fees or currency exchange fees or anything like that. So definitely look into getting one of those. It's an online bank, so you don't need to go into a bank. And also just some like emergency cash in a major currency like euros or Australian dollars, American dollars, pounds, something that is easily convertible just in case that you do lose your card and you need to get some cash. Definitely some emergency cash just in case. Okay, number 7 is pack light. I am so bad for this. I will always try and pack my whole entire wardrobe. Do not do that, because you will not wear half of this stuff, and lugging your stuff around in a backpack is the most infuriating thing. My rule is pack as much as you want and then take out either a third or a half of it, and then look through your stuff and say, if I don't wear that at home, I'm not going to wear it traveling. I have brought so many things that I've owned for years, and then I look at it, I'm like, I've never worn that, don't know why I brought that. It is just such a waste of space. So definitely try and be frugal and really strip back and think about how many things you're going to wear. I usually only wear like 5 outfits when I'm traveling, and I just kind of rotate them and then do a wash and then kind of rotate them all over again. So definitely be ruthless when you're packing. Last but not least, we got there in the end. Have fun. I know it's going to be a bit daunting at first, but you will have the best time. You are going to meet so many amazing people. You're going to have so many amazing experiences. Don't be afraid to be by yourself. I used to get so scared of being alone and being called lonely, but sometimes the most special moments are when you are alone and you get to experience something just for you, and it's a very special, intimate moment with you and like nature or something beautiful or something very like connected to history. And so being able to share that with just yourself is honestly very like, it means a lot to be able to do that and to be able to have the freedom to do that. So get out there and have the best time. You are honestly going to have a blast, and do not be scared. You are here, we are ready for it, we are ready for some adventure, and you are going to kill it. You are going to absolutely slay it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry if it's a bit long. I am going to try and edit it down, but hopefully you guys are staying safe and staying well, and I'm sending you lots and lots of love. Hopefully you're having fun planning your first ever trip, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye.